Hello again, miners. I'm Sarah Manter, and I'm here to offer you some crypto coaching. In a previous video, I talked about how to link your US bank account to your Prohashing account so that you can receive US dollars through ACH bank transfers. If you haven't seen that video yet, I suggest you start with that one. The link is in the card up above and in the video details below. In this video, we're going to talk about the more advanced ways that you can use these ACH transfers. These advanced features are also available at the bottom of our guide on prohashing.com in case you find it easier to read the directions, check back, or view screenshots. The link is in the details below, along with any other links you might need today. The first feature I would like to talk to you about is automatic electricity payouts. Where utility companies tend to accept USD as payment, it may be helpful for you to be able to anticipate your mining electricity costs and set that amount aside in dollars for when the electricity bill comes due. Prohashing has made this easier. If you have your W&P argument set to track wattage and electricity costs, then Prohashing can automatically calculate your electricity costs and send them to your US bank account. Let's take a look at how to set your W&P arguments. You'll have to calculate the cost of your electricity using your electricity bill, and you'll have to look up or figure out your hardware's wattage unless you are using an ASIC that's already been entered into our system. Once you have those numbers, you can use the worker configurator for the rest. To get to the worker configurator, you can use the link in the details below, or you can go to the Prohashing website and click on Tools and then Worker Configurator. I'm going to show you how this works with an ASIC algorithm like SHA-256, but you would navigate to whatever algorithm is appropriate for your situation. We'll say for now that the manufacturer is Bitmain, and the model is S19J Pro Plus. As you can see here, it entered the hash rate for us, but the hash rate is not necessary for figuring out the password arguments we're trying to find right now. I'm going to go down and click on Advanced Options. And here I'm going to enter a worker name. Which is basically just a nickname for your worker that goes in as a password argument and shows up on your mining dashboard when your worker is running. Then I'm going to click on Track Electricity. And you can see again that it has entered our wattage for us because we're using an ASIC. Electricity costs can vary quite a bit depending on where you live, so I'm just going to use an optimistic 10 cents per kilowatt hour. And then as you can see here, it's entered our password arguments in the worker configuration in the box to the right. You can now copy these password arguments that we've just figured out using the worker configurator and paste them into your worker's configuration page. These tend to vary based on the hardware, but most of them are going to look something like this, so I would be able to paste these arguments into the password section that's labeled optional here. Now let's take a look at a GPU algorithm like CAWPOW. As you can see, the GPU algorithms are not going to fill in your hash rate for you in our system like the ASICs will. So you're going to need to know the approximate hash rate of your specific rig. You can figure this out by mining this algorithm for a little while and getting a sense of your hash rate, or you can do some research into estimated hash rates on sites like whattomine.com. But for now, we don't need the hash rate to find the password arguments we're looking for. So I'm going to skip over that for now and open up the advanced options. I'm going to make sure again that I have a worker name here. And I'm going to make sure that track electricity is checked so that I can fill in my wattage and electricity costs. Again, the wattage is not going to fill in for you, so you need to know the wattage of your particular GPU. One way to figure this out is that on algorithms like Kapow, using G minor for instance, the DAG will actually give you the wattage right in there once you've started mining for a bit. So I can fill in my wattage, and I'm going to estimate an optimistic 10 cents again per kilowatt hour. And you can see these numbers pop up in our password arguments up in the worker configuration, and we can copy these so that we can bring them over to our configuration file. Now we're going to jump over to the configuration file for our worker. You can open these with the text editor of your choice. I'm using Notepad because it comes free with Windows. This is my mineravencoin.bat file for my GPU, and here we have the algorithm, the mining URL, the Prohashing username, and our password arguments that I've been using. Now we need to copy the W and P arguments that we came up with in our worker configurator up here. I could just copy the whole thing and replace it too, that would work. And I'm going to paste them in here and then save the file. Now you're ready to turn on automatic electricity payouts. We're going to head back over to the Prohashing website and find our payout settings in the hamburger menu. Here we scroll down to the bottom and select the ACH options tab. At this point, I'm assuming that you've already connected your bank account to your Prohashing account. So if you haven't done this, please make sure to check out our video on connecting your bank account that I mentioned earlier at the beginning of this video before continuing on. Once your US bank account has been verified, you should see a toggle switch available that says Enable Automatic Electricity Cost Payouts. Click on the toggle, the button changes color, and voila! Our electricity costs are getting paid out in US dollars to our US bank accounts. Now, another use for the ACH payouts would be for vendors that only accept dollars or for tax payments. Tax time can sneak up on us, so it could definitely be helpful to have dollars set aside for paying those taxes when it rolls around in April. While we cannot give you financial advice, and this tutorial is not a substitute for a consultation with an attorney or your accountant, I can give you a hypothetical situation to use as an example of how to set aside those tax dollars for when your bill comes due. If you're running a business that earns $400,000 in revenue or more, then the federal tax rate would be about 40%. There might also be local taxes if those apply. Let's assume you want to set aside 45% of your mining earnings to pay taxes for your business. If you have automatic electricity payouts turned on, that comes out first. You would be setting aside the 45% of what is left after the electricity payout. This would get set as a payout proportion. So let's scroll up to the top of the payout settings page. Previously, I had set US dollar to a random amount, but here we're going to set it to the 45% for our tax payouts. So the electricity costs will come out first. Then it will split up what is left into the percentages we have here. I've changed my dollar percentage, so I need to adjust the rest of the coins accordingly so that the total proportion at the top equals 100%. I can now save my proportions, as I've done right here. And I have successfully set up my account to send US dollars to my bank account for my electricity costs and my anticipated tax payment. What's left of my earnings will be paid out in the coins of my choice. There's one limitation of our system it's important to remember. If you have enabled automatic electricity payments and you've set a percentage of your earnings toward US dollars for taxes, you will not be able to also allow portfolio targeting. With our system, you can use any combination of 2 out of the 3 features, but not all 3 at once. You can, however, set both automatic electricity payments and a percentage in your payout options toward US dollars and still set up payout rules and triggers in your advanced payout options as described in our advanced payout video, which is available in the card up above and linked in the details below. That's it for now. Keep an eye out for future videos, and if you're finding them helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time, miners.